Hello everybody, welcome back to Misguided Penmanship. My name is Anthony.
I forgot what we were doing, I'm not gonna lie. Hello!
Welcome back, Chris.
Don't worry about... This is just such a weird experience right now.
It very much is, yeah, I agree.
So we haven't done anything like this before.
No, yeah, this is the final episode of Spider-Man 2. So with that, we decided to go ahead and get all the side quests and make this 100% safe. Because of that, you can see right now everything is moving very fast.
So
I want to say there was 6 hours-ish of footage originally.
I remember it being around 4 to 6.
Yeah.
But right now, so we're just kind of... I really want to talk about the setup because it's just ridiculous how we've gotten the setup. I'm currently sitting like underneath a blanket just looking at the computer watching the stream separately from the world around me, so that way I'm just suppressed, that way it's not like echoing too much, and I just think it's a surreal experience being trapped underneath this blue comforter forced to watch Spider-Man. I feel like I'm being brainwashed right now.
No, I get that. I mean, it's kind of funny for me too, because I mean, I'm still using a comforter to help block out any extra sound coming from you. But also, my comforter smells like wet dog.
Oh, you get to deal with that for the next hour and a half.
Yeah, like, I mean, I get it. I mean, he had to bath, and then he was cold, and then I was like, you can use that blanket. We don't use it anymore.
Ooh.
I need a blanket.
I am so grateful I didn't fall into that bad habit. I didn't fall victim of the blanket.
It's fine. I'll live. But yeah, so obviously you can see at the top of the screen, I've gone ahead and I've labeled every quest, kind of explaining which ones we're finishing up. Because we did do some in our 0.5 episodes, obviously. We weren't just doing nothing during those. But we had quite a few that we forgot to actually do, or, you know, we probably could have done more during the series, but here we are now. This is the final episode. Everything's sped up, so hopefully doesn't look too bad. Hopefully you guys get the point.
I feel like these flashing images might not do too good for me.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm gonna have to put a warning at the beginning about photo or epilepsy. That's the one.
There we go. Well, anyways, us discussing away from the concept of how we got this put together and how shady this has been cultivated. We got a list, I think.
Yes, I'm reaching for my phone now because I decided to not put it inside the blanket.
I am watching the dog.
So yeah, I mean, some of the things we've kind of brought up for topics. We're going to start with legacy characters, in parentheses, discussing the generations of Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
So when we say the generations of Spider-Man, I'll let you kind of take the lead here. What do you mean by that?
Well, like, the generations of Spider-Man I'm talking about, so there's the base, of course, 616 Spider-Man. That is the one that everyone... Well, I mean, that's the original comic books, yada, yada, yada. But then you hear people talking about, well, I grew up on Tobey Maguire Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. And this is what the legacy characters are all about, and that's what I'm excited to. Because there's several generations where, like, most of the time, the demographic is when those movies get released. That's why those people are so excited for those movies. Like, I have met several people that'll fight tooth and nail to say that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was the best Spider-Man, or like vice versa for any of the characters. And now we've come to an age where we have to ask, which Spider-Man are we referring to? And I think that's just awesome. Because, like, now kids are growing up on Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, and their favorite Spider-Man is like Miles. Which one was your favorite Spider-Man growing up?
Growing up, I mean, obviously, I grew up with, 616, Amazing Spider-Man, and then I grew up with Ultimate, and then each iteration of the live-action movies. But my favorite movie one was Andrew Garfield. I really liked the interpretation, the kind of mix with the Ultimate and the original 616 storyline and all that. Like, I felt like they did a really good job, and I loved seeing the nerdy, kind of social outcast Peter Parker compared to, the idea, like everyone's like, oh, he's too hip, too cool, and I always kind of disagreed with that. I felt like he matched the Ultimate Spider-Man storyline, where he's just kind of more of an outcast than anything else. You know, he wasn't just a nerd, but he didn't fit in with anyone. That helped him be that lone wolf type character. You know.
And going based off of the, but like, sorry, dialing back, but nonetheless, would you say that like you grew up on Andrew Garfield Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, I mean, I loved that one the most. That one, I watched probably that one as much as I watched the others, if not more. You know.
Is he the first Spider-Man that you think of when you say the word Spider-Man?
Honestly, I think the comic Spider-Man first, just because I've spent so many years reading the comics.
Okay, and then
You know.
with that, is that 616 or Ultimate?
Personally, Ultimate, that was like the first one that I really got into. Don't get me wrong, I've gone back and I've read, the original like amazing storyline, and like I love it, but I love what Ultimate did for the modern generation of Spider-Man. That's where my jumping off point was, and it brought it to a point where now it fit in more with people my age at the time, compared to the idea that Peter Parker had to be this little preppy, at the time, modern character, but he isn't now as much. Does that make sense?
Oh, definitely. Like, he has developed and changed throughout. Just like you said, the run of just Ultimate has been. I don't know, but nonetheless, the point that we're getting at, the full circle of this situation is now we have so much variety, so many new things. Like, people are growing up in a different age, in a different generation. So, just the concept of, hey, these Spider-Mans are different now. I just found that just eye-opening. I get it, because I'm pretty sure that's an eye. No, that's a flower. Fuck.
No, but that's very fair. Like, everyone now has their own starting point into this character. Compared to, there was a time when everyone had to start at the same spot, but now, someone in theory could start with Zeb Wells today, and that'd be their jumping off point,
Stop it. That doesn't exist.
I'm just making a point.
No, I don't know.
But,
Well, your point doesn't exist.
There are people who are going to read, Superior Spider-Man before they even read Amazing Spider-Man or anything like that,
Don't try to make up for what you said by bringing my baby boy into this.
I'm just bringing up a point. Like, everyone has a new starting point. I know a lot of people right now, their starting point was either, Into the Spider-Verse or these new child Spider-Man friend shows, like, everyone has a starting point.
Oh my gosh, the child friend shows. I forgot those existed.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I've got some nieces and nephews, and they're like, oh, I love Spider-Man. And they're like, they have all these different names for the same characters, but that's just what they refer to them as in, like, the cartoons or whatever. And I'm always like, which one are they talking about?
Do you know a few?
I mean, obviously there's Ghost Spider. I can't remember what they call Miles of Spider-Man off the top of my head. But obviously Ghost Spider is actually, Spider-Gwen or whatever. But like, it was so interesting like, hearing them talk about it. Because they're like, oh yeah, this one's my favorite. And I'm like, that's cool.
Ghost Spider is actually Spider-Gwen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she wasn't originally, obviously. They added that name later in her storyline history, technically.
Did you know that Gwenpool is not a variation of Gwen?
No, she's Gwendolyn Poole.
Yeah, but she's not like, I didn't know that until more recently that she is actually just straight up like, the lore is that she's a regular human that went into the comic book world somehow.
Mm-hmm. There's a whole interesting things, but I've definitely heard a lot of people like, oh, it's just a copy, a multiverse version of Gwen. It's not.
That's what I thought for the longest time.
And I would love to know kind of where that misconception started, to be fair, but I have no clue.
Blonde-haired girl named Gwen?
Probably, to be fair. I mean, obviously, I think it kind of came out during the peak of Spider-Verse, Spider Society stuff.
Wow.
Gwenpool's been around for a little while. It's just, it's like everyone misinterprets her in some way, shape, or form. It's one of those characters, me personally, that I don't know if I'll ever get super into, but she's in Fortnite now. I unlocked her in Fortnite. Can I say Fortnite? I can say Fortnite. I use Fortnite. We should, remember that one episode that I had to censor us from saying a word?
And he used Fortnite instead?
Yeah, so we're going to swap it this time. I'm joking, but like, no.
No, the interesting thing, I mean, talking about Fortnite is I'm definitely about to go buy a skin. Have you seen the new Spider-Man skin?
There's a new Spider-Man skin? I'm looking it up.
Iron Spider skin.
There's an Iron Spider skin?
Yeah, the comics style one, my favorite.
Oh,
one.
wait, hang on. I'm
And it
opening
looks
up my
sick
phone.
because it's got like both. It's got a guitar, a black bling.
Back bling.
It has a unmasked variant. There's a whole bunch of really cool stuff with this one, and I'm like, I'm gonna cop.
Item shop. Fortnite.
It's supposed to come out tomorrow.
You waited till I looked it up.
Well, I was trying to tell you, but I got like distracted talking about how cool it is.
You got too excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be out as soon as the item shop refreshes.
Okay.
So I'm definitely gonna cop. I hope it's gonna be in there for a couple of days, but
Well, I don't know. Maybe I've been trying to get back into Fortnite. Fortnite's fine. Whatever. I refuse to bring this conversation. We are not desperate enough to only talk about Fortnite.
no, you're right. You're right. But yeah, I mean, obviously, there's another iteration of legacy characters that I haven't quite dabbled into yet that I'd love to make a whole separate video on, because there's this idea that, you know, once this newer iteration of a character is introduced, i.e., Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man, you know, that they're meant to take place of that original character. Obviously, this is not the only iteration that's happening. Spider-Man is just a very prime example, us playing Spider-Man, and so on and so forth. But obviously there's Wolverine, there's X-23, like the girl version of Wolverine, who in the comics was meant to take over the place of original Wolverine. Or, you know, the fact that there's Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze, and then all of the others that are supposed to end up taking his place, but they never really do.
Yeah.
I mean, another really big one is the fact that there's this one comic that's a lot of fun to read, and I hope that one day we get to it, but Battle for the Cowl. It's where Batman dies, and the whole Bat family is trying to decide who has to take the position of Batman, or who deserves to, because the idea is that some of these characters exist on such a high pedestal that without them, the societal barrier that they've built would crumble, right?
Ooh.
The idea that these criminals and everything are afraid of Batman to such a, like, you know, such an extent that if he's not there, they are not going to live in fear anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a fun comic. You know, you have specifically Dick Grayson and Jason Todd going head to head, really trying to be like, I should be Batman. I mean, obviously, Dick Grayson doesn't really want to at first, but he ends up kind of going into it, and he does end up actually becoming Batman. And for quite a while, I mean, technically, I think if I remember correctly, Damian was his Robin first before he was Batman's Robin, technically, or something. It's very complicated.
Wait, so Nightwing had a Robin before Batman got a hold of the Robin? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I think, at least in terms of, like, story-wise, Damian was Dick Grayson as Batman's Robin longer than he was Bruce's Robin.
Huh.
And so, like, that's why, like, Damian and Dick have such a, like, a tight connection in most comics, is because they were, you know, that almost father-son dynamic there for quite a while. Not just brothers, you know?
I did not know that, okay.
This is a very fun dynamic. It's very interesting, you know, like, seeing how, even just in Batman, how Dick Grayson really tries to come to terms with being Batman and what it means. And eventually, you know, there's a conversation with Alfred where he's really told that, yeah, he may be Batman, but he's never going to be Bruce. He doesn't have to be. He needs to be himself as Batman. And so there's a lot of fun changes. And it was very interesting recently in Tom Taylor's run on Nightwing. Something happened. Dick Grayson got in trouble and ran away. But Bloodhaven started to kind of go off the rails. And so Bruce Wayne, Batman, decided to dress up as Nightwing to help Bloodhaven. And so it's very funny because there's a lot of memes, obviously, about it, talking about how, you know, everyone's going to notice the fact that, like, now Nightwing is like a 6'4", super ultra buff dude, you know, or whatever.
Nightwing has gained a couple pounds, and
exactly.
He's not doing his backflips anymore, but he is still rocking.
Mm-hmm. And instead of joking, you know, he's gonna kick the living shit out of you or whatever, you know. And so it's very interesting, you know, the fact that, like, in the past, you know, Dick had done that for Bruce, but now Bruce was feeling that he needed to do it for Dick. But that's like what legacy characters kind of mean in my eyes, because obviously there's a ton, you know, we can get into detail. Like, even Venom has kind of become a legacy character in the most recent storylines of Venom.
Ooh.
I mean, right now in Marvel Comics, there's this storyline called Venom War.
Yeah,
And
and Peter's being better portrayed in there than he is in his main run. Sorry. keep
yeah, I
going.
mean, interestingly enough, yeah, Venom has kind of become his own separate character beyond just being the symbiote worn by X or Y person. And the symbiote came back to Peter and was like, "You made me better."
Hello to you as well.
And they've actually rebonded in the comic, and it's made some really awesome panels. It's one of the favorite things that actually currently happened with Venom is he no longer uses webs; he just has fucking chains,
Oh.
and it looks sick. Like the art is amazing, and I really should read more of it, but I just haven't. I do look forward to it. To be fair, it's on the back burner because I don't like trying to keep up with stories as they release a lot of the time.
You have this.
Because sometimes it's just hard, especially if you don't know what order they're going to come out in, or because like most big storylines like that, they span multiple comics, not just one story, separate or whatever. So, I mean, like it's been exciting. It's very neat. Legacy characters, like, it's very interesting because you're right. All of these people, when you ask them what this character means to them or how they got introduced, everyone now has a different answer for all of them.
I mean, I feel like you just summed up everything that we're going through perfectly. Like, the world is changing, and I'm really glad that we get to see it, get to be a part of it.
I mean, I think one of the most interesting ones is the fact that if you ever ask anyone what Robin they started with, that's got to be the longest list of legacy characters out there.
Oh, I don't want. I have no idea what Robin I would have started out with.
I mean, mine was always Dick Grayson. 'Cause that was the Robin in the animated series at the beginning before it went to Tim. Maybe it was Jason. I don't remember. It's been a while, but I remember it was Dick because he became Nightwing, and I loved the idea of Nightwing.
You do love your Nightwing.
I do. He's a phenomenal character, and I wish there was more stories with him at times.
He's like Sonic the Hedgehog, but less cool.
The next big note we have is, I mean, we've had this debate in real life before, but we've talked about a lot of the difference between CGI suits and the real
Oh, okay,
physical
yeah.
suits for Spider-Man.
Oh, I remember this argument.
So obviously, like, one of the biggest perpetrators of the CGI suit debate is Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Thank you, sir.
After Civil War, he actually just wears a mocap suit, and they just CGI every suit on him at this point. And we were talking about, like, if that's better, in terms of film and everything. And I've definitely taken the stance where I don't like it as much as the idea of wearing the physical suit.
Don't want his career.
Like, I like the concept of a physical suit to be able to have with, but like, I feel like the execution of it still serves its purpose well enough to not even have to worry about the situation at hand. I don't think there is anything like wrong with the CGI suit itself.
Well, sure. This good?
Sorry, Stuffy knows, but I have more to say. I swear, Your Honor. But with the animated CGI suits, I think all in all, if done correctly, it is fine. I don't think that, for example, we look at Spider-Man No Way Home, all those suits were fine. There was never a time where I looked at a suit and I was like, wow, this suit makes me feel uncomfortable. Aside from maybe, I guess this is Infinity War, but like Infinity War, the scene when they're all on the ship and they're meeting Star-Lord for the first time, that kind of looked a little awkward when the helmet came off, when he said, we're the Avengers man, if you remember that. That is like one of the times where I looked at it and I was like, something doesn't feel right about the look of that.
No, I get that. I mean, one of the biggest ones that I saw a lot that bothered me a lot was in No Way Home, actually.
Was it?
Yeah, because I don't know if you knew this, but Andrew, Toby, and I think Tom technically did have physical body suits, but they didn't have masks.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about
So
that.
the masks always looked slightly off. Like there's like quite a few scenes, especially of Toby, where his eyes keep moving because they just don't stay in the same spot on the render or whatever. And so sometimes it just looks off. I mean, is it the worst thing ever? No, like it serves its purpose. I agree, but there's something so innate about the physical suits. Like, you go back, and one of my favorite physical suits that they did was the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. Like, all the details on that suit were just phenomenal to look at, and like, how well done it was. And the fact that like I mean, yeah, you can definitely touch it up still CGI and like make it look better at times. But like, I mean, you can take almost any panel of that movie and just see all those details still so well. And don't get me wrong, sometimes in the CGI they can still do that, but I feel like a lot of the time the CGI kind of gets muddled because there's so many other things happening in the scene at times that you can't appreciate it as much, you know?
Okay. Well, you said that you can't appreciate it as much. Do you want the, like, is that more along the lines of you don't have the time to be able to sit down and appreciate it? Because you're talking about the Amazing Spider-Man 2, you're talking about the one that does go put forth the extra effort to look at the way the suit wrinkles, like as he jumps off the building and stuff. I don't know if that's...
I mean, no, I mean, there's perfect scenes where you can see all of that, and it's like, it's great. Like, I don't know, like, I mean, when I watch, like, No Way Home, for example, you know, like, yeah, you can see, like, there's texture to the suit, like, they do a decent job at that, you know, but it's not as well done at times as, like, it is when it's a physical suit. Does that make sense, you know? Like, you get all those natural details without having to, you know, go through all the extra effort, and I think, like, in terms of cost, like, I feel like it'd just be cheaper to have a physical suit at times, you know? Like, I understand sometimes, especially nowadays, especially with Sony and that being a whole thing, I understand that it might be cheaper for them currently because they don't really have a suit picked out until the movie's out.
I feel like the whole dilemma between CGI suits versus non-CGI suits is very similar to the dilemma of covers of songs versus the original artist.
I mean, I can understand that too, you know? Like, I think they have their place. I'm not saying, like, they're the worst thing ever. I have a more appreciation, you know, for the effort that went into the whole design of the physical suits, just because, you know, I spent so much time, like, growing up just watching those, like, behind the scenes and all that, you know?
We gotta make a Spidey suit.
It's so much work, but it'd be so fun.
It would be so awesome, and it would be so cool. I'll do it.
Nah. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I mean, you think about, like, I mean, the Batman suits, you know, like, 90% of those are really well done, too, you know, and those are all physical, you know? I mean, the one time I feel like it really held against it was the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton Batman suit.
Is that Batnips?
No, that's the one where he couldn't move his head.
I mean, I feel like Batnips is kind of worse than that, I'm not gonna lie.
No, I mean, I can agree to an extent, right? But I feel like part of the reason why the Michael Keaton one sticks out in my head so much is because there's literal scenes where he's got to, like, look up, but because his neck can't move at all, he's got to, like, arch his back as far back as it'll go so he can just look up.
He's a Lego dude.
Like I said, I mean, if you haven't seen it, like, definitely look a picture up because, like I said, it's funny to watch. And, like, he can't turn left or right, so he's got to move his entire body to do so, you know? I feel like that, you know, in itself, like, despite how good that suit looked, that was a fault of that suit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know, it's so interesting, because, like, sometimes it looks so great, don't get me wrong, you know, but sometimes there definitely can be issues, you know? I feel like, you know, and that's part of the reason why also Marvel has switched over to the CGI suits for most things, is because you have, like, an example, when they wear those really nice, well-done suits, 9 times out of 10, it takes, you know, hours to put them on, and it takes hours to take them off, so you don't really get this thing called a bathroom break. So, I mean, I understand how that can be an issue.
Well, and then going off the opposite of it, like, you were very much adamant about respectfully being the, okay, well, I like the original suits. Well, me personally, I don't mind the CGI suits because the whole point of it is supposed to fulfill a purpose. It's supposed to fulfill the prerequisite of giving them what they need. And I just think that if it's done properly, it can be fine. I feel like Marvel is a market that is, the only challenge is DC, but with the way DC works and how different those two are, it's not really much of a competition. So, like, I feel like Marvel can be lenient because they know they can get away with what they want. Hence, like, the movies that are coming out that haven't been that good, or, like, you know, a whole multiverse concept that's been beaten to a pulp, which makes me upset because I love the multiverse concept. But nonetheless, I feel like CGI can be used and can be arguably even better than basic suits at times, but I feel like the users that have it just don't understand the responsibility that they have.
I mean, I can understand that completely. I mean, like, this game in itself is also like a firm example of how CGI suits can look great, because these are all animated suits. None of these are real, you know, and like you can see all the
No.
texture on like Miles' suit here specifically, you know, like you've got the part where it looks leathery and you got the part where it looks like it's fabric, you know, all these ridges and the way his arms, you know, kind of bunch up. Like, it can be done so well and look so great. But there are so many examples of it also just looking bad. Like, one of the movies that I saw that, I mean, everyone dogged on because the CGI was not those half-baked 90% of the time, but like the Flash movie.
I thought you were going to say She-Hulk, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, obviously that show in itself, the CGI at times was definitely half-baked, but like the Flash movie, like there's so many scenes where it relies so heavily on the CGI that it took away from the entire movie. You know, like I don't think you've seen the movie, but there's scenes where the Flash goes into what's called the Speed Force and he sees all these things, but it's all done in CGI, and when it looks so half-baked, it looks terrible.
And like ruins your immersion and takes you away from it.
And it's like, I think that's where the big issue comes in. It's not just the suits; it's the whole like use of the CGI at times, you know, as well. That kind of bothers me personally. Because when you go to like She-Hulk, don't be wrong, like sometimes the CGI is half baked, but when they had decent sets and everything still looked okay overall. And like that helped take away from the idea that, oh man, yeah, her face looks a little janky here, or whatever. But like, I think that like I said, it's so complicated and it's a blend that you have to match so well to get it done right, you know?
Okay, I can see where you're coming from with that. All in all, I think that CGI is just used irresponsibly. Turns out this isn't a debate of if CGI is better or not. Turns out it's us calling out Marvel be better.
I mean, like I said, I understand that, like, you know, certain companies out there have definitely put a very harsh workload on the handfuls of CGI artists that are out there, you know, and it's impossible to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna get this whole thing done, you know, within like as short a period as they want at times. Like, the amount of computer processing that like I've been like researching into to see how long it takes to actually like make something like that, it's so much. And like, one of like my favorite people to listen to talk about is like Markiplier. Like, he has been working on his movie Iron Lung this entire like last few years, and he is building his own render farm so he can render his own scenes and everything CGI at home. And he had to buy 10 separate computers, and they each like have like so many different components that's like, it's a lot of money just to put into just the hardware side of it, not alone the time and like everything else. Like, there is so much work into it that I understand why at times it does seem half-baked, because they don't have the time they need to fine-tune everything.
I always get confused when everyone says that they don't have the time to do everything. Like, all in all, they have a monopoly on like superhero movies. This is me calling out Marvel. They have a monopoly.
Take the time?
What?
Why not just take the time? You know?
Exactly.
Like,
Or
everyone's still going to see the movie whether or not it releases on an ideal weekend.
Or like when people got upset that Across the Spider-Verse got delayed, or which one
The
is it?
third one got delayed.
Beyond the Spider-Verse. How that one got delayed. Everyone was upset about that. I don't understand. Just like meth, you gotta let it cook properly.
Yeah, no, exactly. I agree completely. I mean, minus the meth part. I don't know anything about cooking meth, obviously.
For legal reasons, this is a joke. Maybe me cut that out later, or you, whoever's doing that. I don't know.
But yeah, like you, the idea that they have all the resources there to do it so well and perfectly the first time. You know, I mean, I remember seeing No Way Home in theaters that like first weekend or whatever that it came out. And then I went and saw it a couple weeks later, and there were scenes that they changed just in that short amount of time, where they like resubstituted different CGI sequences to make it look better.
They can do that?
I guess so. I mean, I would assume that, yeah, it's just a file that they send theaters, right? You know?
I thought it was an actual thing that they...
I mean, it used to be, but no, most things aren't on film anymore.
Huh.
You know, so I mean, like, that's the interesting thing, right? If they can do it like that, you know, like, why is it that these movies come out at times when they're that bad? But also, like, the point of matter is, like, yeah, if they just took the time to do it right the first time, I think they'd still make just as much money off the movie. I understand that in theory, yeah, they might be, spending a few $100,000, to prolong the movie's release or whatever. I get that, but I don't know.
Watching the Mysterio fights are pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie.
It is. Like, I mean, and it's funny listening to it. I don't know if you can hear it too well under your blanket.
I can hear it okay.
Like, it is so funny to listen to. And I know, like, it's got to be, like, the most ear-grinding sound if they were in headphones listening to it. I mean, I did kind
You're
of.
welcome.
But obviously, like, no, like, there's going to be some audio balancing for that intention.
Nah, we gotta turn it up.
Turn it up. Turn us down, turn that up.
They come here for the squeakiness, not for our opinions.
No, but, so, let's kind of shift topics one more time. I mean, we're 30 minutes into the video, and we haven't talked about ourselves. What's up in our lives?
Nothing.
Yeah, we've both been working a lot. I mean, I feel like one of the big things we can definitely talk about are, like, the fact that now that the series is over, what's next?
Nothing. This is it.
This is it? This is our big thing? We're breaking up after this?
We got a couple ideas. I'm very, very much excited. I know that our channel is going to be branching away from gameplay, like, because we're going to really hit hard on those in reviews, which don't get me wrong, I'm genuinely excited for. But also we are still doing some things with gaming, which is going to be fun as well. Like, I'm really excited to see what we cook up with there, whether it be just us having genuine reactions and having a good time, because, I mean, we played the crap out of the Spider-Man games, and, like, they have been awesome, and we've really been trying to, like, make sure we have good, fun times with them, but, like, these next couple times, whatever gameplay it's going to be, it's going to be full, genuine, like, not necessarily first experience or first hand, but, like, it's going to be...
In the moment.
Yeah, in the moment it's going to be emotional. We're not going to be sitting here talking about something, we might still, but, like, we're not going to be sitting here talking about other stuff and, like, trying to voice over. We're going to be immersed, and that is... Our genuine reactions are what I'm really excited for.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, I know, like, we've talked about, like, doing more of the editing side of it, too, and, like, there's so many different things that we're focusing on moving forward. I'm very excited for.
We have a list of stuff that we're thinking about doing, and then we have a list of stuff that we're going to do eventually, and then we have a list of stuff that may not be possible, but we're going to find a way to do it. It's... What I love about this is that we haven't settled down yet. We haven't found a consistency. Like, don't get me wrong, we have been consistently trying to upload with these Spider-Man videos, and they've been, for the most part, aside from when I forget to get them uploaded, these Spider-Man videos have been consistent. But, like, this isn't the end-all be-all. This isn't how we're going to be doing everything, like, say, a couple months from now, or a year from now, or whatever time.
I swear to God, if we're still playing Spider-Man 2 from a year from now, man, I don't know if I can do it.
A couple years later from now, we'll be like, all right, we're going to go play Spider-Man again. Oh, if only they actually didn't leak the freaking multiplayer Spider-Man.
It'd be a very different situation if they didn't, I mean, I hope for the best for this company, and that they hopefully, they can still, do things. Because, I mean, it makes me sad that these people ruined it for everyone else. It would have been so fun to get all these games.
Oh, yeah.
Or even the DLC. But I know, like, the most recent DLC update we got was nothing's coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's no planned DLC at all anymore?
As of last update, somebody had tweeted at the company and was like, hey, any Spider-Man 2 DLC news? And they're like, we're not working on anything.
Damn.
And that sucks. And I hope, or no, they didn't say they were not working on it. They said there's no update at this time.
Oh, no update at this time. That's a little bit different, though.
Sorry, yeah. And I really do hope that they are going to do a DLC. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love this game. But there's so much left in this story, this universe. And like I said, the Wolverine game, I'm going to love the shit out of that too. I just know it.
Wolverine, I've never gotten into. And then the more and more I get into him, cough, cough, Deadpool and Wolverine, the more and more I actually fall in love with the character. And I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted in a hero. Why did I never actually go looking?
God, that's how I feel about Superman right now. You know, like ever since I was sick a couple weeks ago, and I was like dying out here, and that was almost like a month ago. But I've been just watching Superman. Like I was watching the cartoon, and now I'm back on Smallville and everything. But like all the time, you read these stories of Superman, and he's just this all-powerful being, and he does all these things. But
Don't worry about it.
like I said, he's such a nuanced character, and he has so many fun storylines that it's been so enjoyable to actually go in and just enjoy.
Eventually watch Smallville. I feel like it's a sin not to. But anyways, hopping back into this still conversation, but like a different part of it. You know what? I kind of took initiative and talked about the like gaming side of it. I'll let you take initiative to talk about another big piece, Anthony. You go
Absolutely.
ahead.
So I mean, obviously, like you mentioned, we are going to go back into the in reviews and stuff like that, and like we haven't done those in a while. I mean, obviously, one of the big ones that we're going to continue is Ultimate Spider-Man. There's still a lot more of that story to go, and I mean, I'm excited to go through it all. Oh, look, it's Howard.
Hello, Howard.
How are you both doing?
But like I said, Ultimate Spider-Man, it's one of my favorite storylines, and I would love to get through it.
Sure.
And I'd love
What did you need?
to just get into new comics. I mean, we've picked our next one, because at this point, we've decided we're just going to jump in. And I don't know if we want to say what it is now, but
Well, without saying what it is now, I would like to say, because you haven't said it yet, so I'm going to steal your thunder, even though I told you you could have this. We are reformatting things. Like,
oh yeah, that's a very fair point.
we are like not necessarily completely changing things, but like things are different. We had videos planned in the back burner. The audio was recorded for them all, because how it works is normally we record the audio and then Anthony would go back and then put all the images and stuff like that. But we are changing it up slightly, and I think this change is going to be so awesome. I think this change is I'm gonna hype up this change to make it seem like it's going to be something super big. I mean, it'll be big for me. It'll be awesome for me.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we've kind of toyed with it a little bit here or there. I mean, obviously, you got to see one of our not most recent uploads, but a while ago on the birthday, we did face cam, and like moving forward, that's actually part of the interviews now. So we're going to try and do face cam more often, and you know, even have two different perspectives where you can see both of our faces, and like a whole bunch of different things to help provide more to the commentary and just make it more detailed. I mean, that's one of the things that we are always striving for, is it's higher quality.
We've
Yeah.
had several videos in the back burner. Like, they were ready to go, and we could have just started the process on them, but we completely scrapped them, got rid of them. Now we don't even have the files anymore, because we are so excited to try this new method of things. I don't know if we're supposed to be talking over Howard, but like, Howard would love to hear our ideas. This is actually us talking to Howard right now, not you guys. This is Howard.
This was one of my favorites in this entire game.
Is that why it slowed down?
Oh, for sure. I mean, don't be wrong. I sped up the important parts, or not the unimportant parts, I guess. I think I did speed up the flying sequence. I think. Actually, I don't know if I did. I think because he's talking the entire time, I didn't.
Follow the waterfront.
Just want the whole nice and wholesome moment.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I loved this scene. Like, it at times this game felt like a continuation, but also an ending in so many ways to so many different storylines, you know?
Let's hit the Brooklyn Bridge.
And that's why, like, I think it sucks that we haven't gotten DLC yet personally. Just because there's so much left unfinished, and in spots where it really just, I would love to know if this is the end. Because if it is, I mean, that sucks to an extent. You know, I've always had a hard time with things ending. It's just always been a thing for me personally. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've watched all of Smallville before, and I'm rewatching it now or whatever, but like, whenever I get to the end of a show like that, I'm left wanting more. Even though, like, even if it ends on a good spot or whatever, when you love something so much, it's hard to say goodbye, you know? And that's how I feel about this game, you know? It's like, don't get me wrong, I am so excited to move on from this game and everything, but there's so many different parts of it that I don't want to leave.
We're almost there.
This game, all of them, have this certain environment to them, and they're so fun, and the characters are so important to me that I don't want this to be the end yet. I want there to be more. I want to be with these characters as much as possible.
It makes me kind of sad. That's like, oh, well, congrats, you did all the side quests, you did the main story, that's it. I wish there was, like you said, I wish there was something more that I could go do. That's why I think I don't necessarily mind live service games, which is a really scary concept in nowadays, where all these live service games are being poorly executed and stuff, like Destiny 2, well, that's a little bit older, but like the Fortnite, where you can get that new content. I think that's also a reason why I was so excited for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, was because their promise of, we're going to be able to have so many new things and we're going to try all these things, and then it didn't go well. And I fought for that game, I want you to know. I sat down, I played through the entire campaign, really enjoyed the dialogue, really enjoyed the fun parts of it, but it was, once you get done with the campaign and then you were supposed to get all those pieces that you were supposed to do afterwards, like unlocking Joker, or unlocking the new Mrs. Freeze. I don't know if her name is actually Mrs. Freeze, but
I'm pretty sure it's Mrs. Freeze.
yeah, but it was cool. But the gameplay got so repetitive so quickly, it made me sad. I just don't think live service games have been done correctly at this point.
No, I get it. You know, they have this potential to be
If it helps,
a game that never ends,
it looked like he was at peace.
and a game that can be ever expanded upon. But
on that adventure with his wife.
so many of them have kind of like failed to live up to that expectation, you know? Whether it's gimmicks or this or that, you know? Like, I mean, I feel like Fortnite has probably done the best job. I feel like it's always kind of had a very solid base. I know at times, like, people leave and come back, you know, or whatever, you know, but I mean, I've seen so many other games fail where at least Fortnite's succeeding.
Not too long ago, Little Big Planet got shut down. That was that was sad.
Yeah, it sucks because like they have the potential to be greater than, you know, what they are, and sometimes they get cut short. And that's one thing I both love and hate about single player games, is sometimes you get so invested in their story and like their world and what everyone means, and it just, there's not more to it, you know? And like, don't get me wrong, I feel the way about a lot of things, not just books, not just movies, not just games, just everything. Sometimes it's hard to say goodbye to things, and I feel that's how I feel about Spider-Man, even though, like I said, I am super excited to say goodbye.
I'm super excited to say goodbye. I still have to complete my own playthrough of New Game Plus.
I haven't done it.
I'm on my way.
But beyond the interviews, we've decided to kind of break things up into 3 different categories. We're going to do interviews, we're going to do games, and then we're going to try and do just miscellaneous videos, things that don't fit in with either category, that could be somewhat similar, but also could just be fun.
That makes me feel good because I didn't know what the 3rd category was, I'm not going to lie to
I
you.
think I literally just named it in the sheet miscellaneous.
Awesome.
I mean, like, obviously, like, the idea of, like, the legacy character being its own video, you know, like, that was going to be a miscellaneous thing. Don't get me wrong, it's similar to the interview, but it's not. We're not going over, like, one specific story, we're just going over the concept and debating it, you know?
Whoa, sorry, our
That's okay.
lovely neighbors upstairs are going, whoa.
But I mean, like, an example, like, we've talked before about, like, certain, like, characters and, like, their beginning and end points for stories, you know, and all that. Like, we're not going to go through every storyline of every character because that would be an impossible feat.
Don't call it impossible because now I want to challenge.
Please don't.
We will.
Like,
We'll go through
certain
every-
characters I feel like we could really do well at going through their entire history well. But like some other characters would be difficult. Don't be wrong. And there's so many different like superhero characters specifically. Like you have all these different members of like the JLA, the JSA, the Justice Society of America, the Justice League of America, and then you have all these other like subsidiary groups. The Justice League Dark. There's so many things or different characters that only exist in like these bigger group stories, but have their own like characters. It's complicated. But I definitely feel like they don't necessarily need to take up an interview and for us to try and go through everything,
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what's kind of fun about it, because then we can, still go through and be like, all right, here's the superhero of the week or whatever, and just discuss
Superhero of the
some,
week.
big feats of a character, in theory that we could do like Deadpool. We could talk about where he originated and what he's up to now or whatever.
I think he's up with Hugh Jackman.
Currently. That's obviously live action. I don't know what his character is up to anymore. I haven't actually read any Deadpool recently by any means.
The most recent Deadpool that I've read is Deadpool Wipes the Universe. I mean, the Marvel-verse.
Mm-hmm. I read that as well. I think that's the most recent one I read.
Just because I was curious to see how he would do it, and I heard that characters were portrayed horribly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it wasn't like the worst thing ever. Like going into knowing what the story was going to be about, I didn't have high expectations,
Spider Sense, the thing that's going to prevent Peter from dying, does not work on Deadpool, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he got bit by the same spider too.
You want to know why they're all freaking out, Chris?
Huh?
It's
Why?
someone's birthday. They're singing happy birthday.
Oh, that's what I need right now. A bunch of drunk college kids singing happy birthday to me.
To be fucking awesome. But, listen, so obviously we've gone ahead, we've done the work, we've decided at least what the next 3 videos are going to be. If those will expand any further, we don't know.
I really hope the blanket is not getting put on the microphone or else I'm cooked.
I mean, your audio looks fine to me, so.
I'm already cooking underneath this blanket. I'm going to die. But like, at
You're
least
the one
I'm
who's
thankful.
wearing pants and socks.
Cargo pants are God's greatest gift on earth.
Don't be wrong, they're definitely better than jeans, I will give you that, and they're definitely better than sweatpants. But also shorts, man.
You're right. I should just walk around in my boxers. I don't wear shorts.
No, I get that. But no, do we actually, I mean, we still have probably 40 minutes left of this video,
40 minutes left.
roughly.
What am I supposed to talk about for 40 minutes?
I mean, we can discuss, like, more specifically, like, what these videos are going to be if you want, or if we want, we can just leave them secret, and I can start pulling up bullshit.
I was watching all the explosions happen.
Yeah, these are, like, interesting sequences to watch.
I'm just sitting here. I have all this gameplay, aside from the end game parts, were like by yours truly, so I know it's good. And also I know at some point I was watching Netflix while doing this, so I'm just curious to see if my performance just drops drastically.
Not noticeably.
That's what happens when we do 300 times speed, baby.
Alright. So, I mean, if you guys have stuck around to this 50-minute mark, I'm going to give you guys spoilers. You deserve it.
Also, if you stuck around, you heard my stomach go off. Say that in the comments below.
Alright, Chris, what's the game? What's the next game we're going to play?
I don't know. I'm kidding. Spider-Man. Okay. We're going to be playing Content Warning.
Yes, Content Warning is the next one. Obviously, we have a larger list and different ones that we will do at different times, but we're starting next with Content Warning. I'm
trying to bully Anthony into playing Roblox because there's some good spooky games that could definitely get a reaction out of us.
I told you I was down. I told you I'd try it at the very least.
My bullying has been very persuasive.
But, I mean, I'm looking forward to Content Warning. I mean, I've seen I haven't seen too much on it, I guess. I've seen, like, a few gameplays. And it looks fun at the very least, I mean, it definitely reminds me of, like, the Lethal Company, esque, Phasmophobia-esque game.
I love that type of formula.
Mm-hmm. They work well, and that's what I do like about them. So, I mean, I have high hopes for it. I know, in theory, it's just the two of us for those.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I definitely have gotten some requests for certain games if some people can join us. Don't know if that'll happen though.
But those people aren't cool.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I said, it's a lot hard. It's hard enough managing our own voices sometimes. Imagine adding a third.
It's hard enough just trying to get time to do this. Because we get one day out of the week, and my schedule has changed like 3 or 4 times.
This year alone.
Yeah, it's just... And
It's all good. I mean, we make it work.
we do make it work.
But beyond Content Warning being the next game, we have a comic picked out. It is a mini-series. We're not doing something big like Ultimate ×2. You know, we're not going to do both those at the same time.
Ultimate 2, the Electric Boogaloo.
Instead, we put all of our comics into a random wheel generator, and we spun it, and we got DC's Dark Knights of Steel.
Which I haven't fully read yet.
I believe I finished it. I could not tell you for certain. I own it all, but I am excited to go back through and read it at the very least, because one of my favorite things about that storyline is the art style.
The art style is so pretty.
I love the art style, and I love conceptually, you know, the idea that, you know, the medieval times, you know, I love it. I mean, obviously, there's a reason I play D&D, you know, and I think that storyline is conceptually a lot of fun. So I definitely have high hopes for it. Other than that, I mean, there's a lot more comics on the list. We will get to some of them.
Oh, how did you feel about the chameleon being
Craven's
brother?
I don't know. I don't think that's ever been a thing in the comics. I don't remember it, at least, if it was. But I think it's neat. You know, it serves a purpose for Chameleon, you know, to kind of, in theory, at this point, you know, enact revenge or whatever, you know.
Do you think we'll see him again?
I think so. I mean, I feel like it'd be very weird to throw him in this game and then never use him again, you know?
Honestly, I don't think we'll see him again. I feel like his story got well-rounded completely here at this point. Like, Cocomelon is not coming back.
I hope he does. I think Chameleon's always a fun character. Do I think he's, like, very full of depth or anything like that? Not really, no. I don't think he's, like, the be-all, end-all of a Spider-Man villain, but he's fun.
I think the concept is cool. I just don't know how it would work.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it depends. We'll see what happens. And, like, if anything, you know, based on certain things in the story, you know, he may not be a Peter Parker villain anymore.
This moment, by the way, with all these suit changes, this is where we were arguing about the suits.
We kind of discussed on these topics, like, you know, offhandedly, you know, about the CGI suits and everything. And we were talking specifically at that point when we were going back and forth through them, how many suits each Spider-Man actor got. Mm-hmm. And so that's what that was all about. Because Tom Holland has the most suits possible, which is fine, you know?
Yep, and there we go again. Because this whole argument happened during this time. We should have just recorded that audio and placed it over here.
That's all fine. I don't know what we would have talked for the last 50 minutes of the audio for.
You know, that's a great question.
But last but not least, we have the miscellaneous video. And you may be like, Anthony, you've kind of explained the miscellaneous, but what does it actually mean? It means it's related, but not. I mean, that's the most important thing to say, right?
It's whatever we want it to be.
Yeah, like
Oh,
we
here
could
we go.
do
We got
anything for sure. But like I said, I feel like it's the closest to being related to something like any other series we're doing. You know, it could be more games, could be more comic-related stuff, but it's not its own definitive series. Mm-hmm. I think that's the important part, is these are really going to be one-off videos unless something changes that.
Also, by the way, was this suit CGI?
Yes.
Okay.
At least I believe so. We've never seen it anywhere else, so it's hard to know. I mean, we actually didn't even get a full look at it, so it's up in the air. I really do hope he gets this suit in his next movie, if we ever get the next movie. Because I like it. It is probably one of my favorite suits so far. But the miscellaneous video that we have chosen as our last video on this list of next videos, I don't know what order they're going to come out in, so don't hold your fingers or don't cross your fingers. That's the word.
Don't hold your fingers.
But it's going to be a tier list. We've joked about it before, specifically in the Ultimate Spider-Man storyline, where Chris asked me who my favorite Spider-Man waifu was.
We're finally getting to it, boys.
And I very rudely cut him off, only talked about myself, and then didn't let him ever tell me what his was.
You menace.
I mean, honestly, if you watch the video, you know that Chris said he didn't have one at that point in time, so it worked out.
I don't have one.
But now we're actually going to kind of go more in depth, kind of explain, you know, we might even fact check a little bit to let you know, like, where these characters first appeared or whatever, you know, but we'll actually get a full tier list.
I love how enthusiastic our neighbors are about our projects.
I know,
because
it makes me so happy. Makes me feel like we're really making the right choice here.
I know, I just
You
hear
know,
them.
quitting our day jobs, focusing on YouTube full time, you know. I
Wait,
feel like-
we're supposed to be quitting?
Ah, shit, you didn't know.
Oh, well.
This was your last day, actually.
I see. Thank you for putting my 2 weeks in for me.
That's a joke. Don't quit your day jobs, guys. Unless you have to. Or want to, I guess. I mean, I can't stop you. Do what you want, right?
Do what you want as long as it doesn't harm others or yourself.
But also, we can't tell you what to do.
I am legally obligated to say that it's your choice.
But yeah, so I mean, those are the few videos we're going to really get in depth here. I mean, like I said, some of the other ideas that we've had for like miscellaneous was more specifically about like the legacy characters, what legacy meant, you know, some examples of them, like the Wolverine one specifically, because that one's always kind of stuck out in my head.
All right, you want a super spoiler, a super teaser. I am excited because I eventually really do want to work on like voice acting on comics or potentially doing mini films. There's your spoiler.
Yeah,
That's what you
those-
get for getting this far into the video. I had to check how far we were in the video before I started saying things like
About
that.
10 further minutes.
What?
About 10 more minutes into the video.
About 10 more minutes in. Hey, close enough. Because look at this. You can't see, but I opened it up.
Oh, we've only got about 25 minutes. That's
Yeah,
not
so like, last 25 minutes. We have so many plans.
we do.
And literally, the reason why he said we used a wheel to pick things is because we just had so many things going on at once. We were like, what do we want to just sit down and do?
Oh, for
So
sure.
we
And
do
don't get me wrong, like, yeah, the wheel's nice, but I don't feel like it's always going to be our source of
Oh, definitely
video.
not.
I just feel like it's helping us get out of this rut of Spider-Man game. We've done this for so long. You know, wrong, I have loved every second. It has been fun.
I love the Secret Wars. Or is that Secret Wars?
Yeah, it's Secret Wars.
I love the Secret Wars military suit. It looks so nice.
But I am very excited to see what happens next. It just helped make the decision a little faster. That was all. That's the only reason why we used the wheel, really.
We are too indifferent. And then the suit that is awesome that you get for the ending of this game, but Anthony just is adamant against because
I don't know.
he's
It's a
stupid.
spacesuit. I don't know. It bothers me.
It bothers me.
Don't get me wrong. Do I think it's bad? No. It's not my favorite. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this section was super long.
This is the last 25 minutes of the video.
No. It's this, Symbiote Ness, and then I want to say Carnage, which
Oh.
that takes a long time because it's actual like dialogue and everything.
Did I not do Symbiote Ness?
No.
I forgot, I guess.
And if you did, then I just put it the wrong spot of the video.
Actually, hang on. I was pretty sure No, I'm still playing right now. This is still me, so...
Yeah, because I think you did the photo ops. I guess I just combined them for there. Oh,
Oh.
because there was just a miscellaneous section. We didn't just do one.
Okay, we just moved. Oh, I took pictures and then did Symbiote Ness, so it was kind of weird. I get why.
Yeah, there was multiple things you did in that small section. Just it's too fast to see.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then I think we finished up the Symbiote Nets, and then this is where you stopped recording. Then I finished up the next day,
Yeah.
where I did the rest of the.
We just sat... I just sat down and hammered out all of the side quests aside from the spider bots, and I'm like, Anthony, you got this. Wait, did you complete all the... Did you max all the upgrades you said?
I believe so.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think you were going to go that far.
I mean, it's 100% save. That's all I know.
You know, do you need those 100% to save?
I believe so. I think you need everything 100% to save. I'm not entirely certain. I'm pretty sure I got everything.
Well, whatever the case may be,
I
it's
don't
100%.
think I got it all in video, though, to be fair. Because the thing about the fucking spider bots, I cut out a lot.
Oh yeah.
Because there's so much swinging around and just going in circles trying to find them.
I know at some point we have Spider-Girl's robot and Peter's reaction, and that's all that matters to me.
But as it took a while, and obviously during those sequences, I take like a 2-second break and just go into the menus and be like, "Oh, I can afford this now," and I do that, or I do a random crime here or there.
Not just doing it and waiting all till the end. I get
Yeah.
you.
So I mean, like I said, it's. I think the spider bots probably had the most cuts in between, just because I was just like, "Nope, I'm not going to keep recording." But like I said, doing it in this form was a lot of fun, just because it was weird because like we weren't talking really at all during it or whatever, which is not normal for us. We talk a lot when we actually do this stuff.
If you couldn't tell.
But when we sat down to do this, I knew I hoped it was only going to be like 3 hours, but it ended up being almost double that or whatever,
But nonetheless, we got through it.
Yeah, we did, and so that's kind of why I think I ended up choosing to do it the way we did. You were like, hey, if you want to try it, let's do it, or whatever, which is awesome. And I'm glad you're very supportive of my ideas at times. It's really cool. But like I said, I really didn't know what I was doing. And like, don't get me wrong, I know this is probably sucks to look at times.
But at the end of the day, when we walk away from this, we could be like, yes, we have completed
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 on the channel.
Sorry, I got so distracted with the flying part. Lacey, yeah, but we can finally say we added. Oh yeah, you can see I literally just got bored at times and started doing crimes.
All right. Better you than me.
Like I said, it was a lot of fun just running around doing everything. That's one thing I love about the game is just honestly the environment. I said the swinging is so much fun. Everything Spider-Man is so much fun. Yeah, you'll see a lot of pauses because I just pause. I'm like, I got it. Did I exit the video? No.
All right.
But
That means, hang on, that means the last 25 minutes of this video is just you collecting spider bots.
no, there's still the carnage sequence.
Huh?
The flame, sorry.
Oh, wait, oh yeah, the flame exists still.
Yeah, I think that's literally the last thing. Which that one takes the most time.
Oh, I never thought of doing that. I just parkoured and then jumped somewhere.
Yeah, I tried that for a while and I couldn't get. And I was like, oh. You can see him always.
Throw spider!
Always go in and double check and see where I'm at.
I wonder what. I wonder what he said when he picked up the Scarlet Spidey one.
I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
I think something about it being blonde, if I remember correctly.
Definitely did not have hair. Oh, you gotta make the full loop.
I still got it.
I still got it.
It's interesting doing it this way. And do I think it was like the worst way to handle it? No. Do I want to do it again? No.
Are you sure?
I'm 75% sure.
You're gonna get bored. You're gonna go back to this game and you're gonna 100% another save.
Probably at some point in time. This year, probably not.
I remember your goal that you wanted to have all 100% saves in
Yeah,
the loading.
I did at one point.
And now I made it public, so now you have to deal with the consequences.
I'm not going to do it. I would love to, but I'm not going to.
Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, it only took a couple minutes.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like, I cut out a lot of it just manually. I was like, I'm not going to record through all of this.
Remember this character that was cut from the actual movie? Mm-hmm. Do you think she's coming back in the next one?
Me?
I don't know, man.
I'm just a bartender who does favors.
There's so much potential. But also, did you hear the sad news?
No, I did not. What?
Once they're done with their current contract, they're not renewing.
Those off your hands.
Spider-Man?
The people that are doing the Spider-Man stuff at Sony right now.
Does that mean Marvel's taking Spider-Man
Yeah.
then?
It just means that Sony won't do any more Spider-Verse movies after this contract's done.
So then what? So do they still own the rights to Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, they still own it. They're just taking away the contract from the people that they've been like, because like how it works is they own it. Other people come in and are like, hey, I want to contract you to use your things. And Sony has like the end all be all, like yes, no. And at this point, Sony has come out and said that they're not renewing any contracts with
So
anyone doing other things.
we don't know where Spider-Man's going from here then, right?
Nope, not at all.
Oh.
And like, it sucks. There's one saving grace though. That means if the guys who did the Spider-Verse movies aren't doing it anymore, That means there's a chance.
The Batman Beyond movie that they
Exactly.
referenced.
There's a chance, bro.
There's a chance.
I don't care what I have to pay. Give me Batman Beyond, please.
That's like your favorite.
He always was. I loved the fucking show growing up, and I was so sad that the show was so fucking short.
You were so shit that the show went.
Yeah, God. And like I said, don't get me wrong, I've read every fucking Batman Beyond comic out there, and I will continue. If Batman Beyond never has a fan, I am dead.
I am dead.
Know that. As long as I'm alive, he has a fan.
Terry has a fan.
Exactly.
His name's Terry, right?
Yep, Terry McGinnis.
Nice.
Which is always funny because interviews, like whenever Andrew Garfield talks about his like childhood or whatever, he's like, "Yes, me and my friend Terry McGinnis," and I'm like, "Hey, Batman Beyond."
That's awesome.
But no, like, I genuinely am so excited. There's so many different ideas that we have moving forward, and like, some of them are funny, some of them are serious, some of them are not either.
We have serious ones?
I mean, yeah, remember that one thing?
You set yourself on fire, I saw that. You ran into the fire.
What? No, I didn't. No proof.
I can't look at you directly, but my look of disappointment is immeasurable.
No, I mean, serious side of things is like the voice acting, the idea of like really trying to hit home some of those ideas. Obviously, like some of those are still rooted in kind of silly ideas, like, oh, we're gonna make a funny haha live action, short film or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are serious things that we're like wanting to undertake, Don't get me wrong. I mean, like one of like the favorite video ideas that I've had is like Art Trip, that I've talked about, Obviously, that's both serious and silly, but
Wait, did you do the Flame Quest line or did I?
I did.
You did, for certain?
Yep.
Okay.
Because I remember fighting.
Fighting insert spoiler here, even though you should really know by now if you care.
Yep. I said, yeah, I remember going through this whole sequence because I did this after I finished the spider bots. I just never changed your suit.
That's what's throwing me off, because normally we change each other's suits.
Mm-hmm. I love the Last Stand suit, to be fair.
The more and more I look at the white version, the more and more I'm okay with it, because it's a different world. But like originally I was like, no, not this one.
No, I get that. No, I mean, I really don't know what else to talk about at this point. There's so many things that we've discussed, and like so many ideas that we have on the burner,
Of course it's Oscorp's train that's like causing problems.
Always. But realistically, I'm happy to finish this up, and hopefully this video gets out on time. Actually, no, it won't get out on time.
When's on time though?
In theory, today.
Oh!
Because there's no video today.
Oh, yep, I would never fail a QuickTime event. That was definitely you.
No, I hit it 3 times. I don't know what happened.
Nope. You
I
failed
shit
it.
you not. I was sitting there. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was so mad.
You're bad.
I'm not bad. It's the fucking adaptive triggers.
You shouldn't play with the adaptive
I
trigger.
know. And at that point, I decided I was never playing with them again. I never turned them off, but because I was like, "God damn it, that's on fucking video, and I'm not gonna go back and do it."
You just got doxxed in front of it.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right?
You're stuck underneath the train now, though.
Yeah, it sucks. Fuck. I had something to say, but then I got distracted talking to you. Let me take 2 seconds to try and remember.
You're gonna have to make a new prophecy, he says. How do you feel about this version of Carnage? Or was I supposed to say that? I don't know.
It's really close to how he normally is in the comics, to be fair. Always kind of weird, and like this idea that he's above. Like, I mean, even just based on the design, I knew it was Carnage, I'm both happy and sad we didn't get to see him as Carnage in this. I think the reason I'm sad about it is because I think it'd just be, that cool confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Happy that we're not, because obviously that means that he's being saved for later, which means there will still be Carnage. The only thing I'm curious about, and that's only because the direction these games have been going, do you think Carnage is going to be Peter's or Miles' villain?
Oh, shoot. Silk.
Exactly. Like, that's the interesting part here, is that there's availability for these villains that were originally one person's villain to be somebody else's, or all of theirs, to be fair. But, like, I know in the comics, like, recently, like, Carnage has been Miles' villain.
I do not believe that there's going to... Like, Miles is not going to have another standalone game. That is what I genuinely believe. I think they're going to find a way to make another Spider-Man exist. I don't think it's going to just be him... Just him and Peter anymore, let alone if Peter's actually going to still keep doing things. So, like, with that, I don't know who it's going to be, though.
It'll be interesting to see what really happens here. So that's the thing, is that there's so many open doors here that I'd love to see just a little bit of the tunnel
She
to
has
know
super
what's
strength.
happening for, in the future. But don't be wrong, I love this game. I love this series. I love the direction that Insomniac has taken overall. Don't be wrong, is everything perfect? No. But do I still love what they've done? Yes.
That's a horrible way to die.
Oh yeah, Rain Alive. I mean, it sounded freezing, but I mean, I know in theory you'd stop feeling it after a while. Both of them, to be fair. Actually, you know what, Chris? What is your least favorite way to die?
We're really struggling for topics, and
No, I mean, let's go deep psyche here. Let's put on the internet so everybody knows what our fears are, so that they can accomplish it to
one
us.
of my biggest fears is, like, one day I'm just gonna wake up. Like, either this is all a dream or this is, like, me reliving my past. But, like, the concept of somehow I'm going to just wake up.
I can see that. I can see that.
Or a falling upwards. I don't know why. Ever since I was younger, I can't look up at, like, high ceilings or look up at the sky without getting really bad vertigo.
No, I get that. Personally, like, I have always had this fear of being paralyzed and, like, stuck in my own body without being able to do anything.
Hey,
You know?
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
It says final thoughts.
Yeah, and that's the point. I mean, I knew we would need a reminder to get back on topic.
Well, are our final thoughts like our final breath thoughts, like
Yeah,
death,
just-
or...
I mean, both, I guess, at this point. I mean, interesting segue into this topic, I guess. No, I mean, I intentionally put this part in here. I'm just swinging around for a couple of minutes towards the end to just give us a
Okay.
second to talk about how we felt about the game, you know?
Game was...
I mean, we've been talking about it so much already, you know, but...
Game was beautiful. I really enjoyed what it had to offer. It sucks that it has to end at some point. I feel a little dissatisfied with the fact that there is no, like... The closest thing you get to replay value would be just the new suits and everything. But all in all, the game's great for what it is.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I
it's
still
fun.
love it. I will definitely replay it at some point. Like, I think because of playing it for the channel, I haven't done it in my personal time. But, you know, give it like 6 months, I'll probably be sitting around playing it again, you know?
You didn't fly through the circle, and that makes me sad.
Sorry. I wanted to run around the bases.
Do you already get the achievement for running around the bases?
I've already gotten the achievements. We're not going to get it here. But,
I haven't done that yet.
no, like, I really was just... This series is one of my favorite games. And Spider-Man has always been one of my favorite characters. And so it's been very satisfying to play this game and everything like that. Like I said, after the first one, I have always, loved this series. They did such a great job, and Spider-Man has always been my favorite character.
The gameplay is so addicting. It's very simple. Anyone can get into it. The difficulties are nice.
I mean, even just like flying around and like swinging through the city is just so... It's like driving around in GTA at times.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have more fun web swinging, though, than driving around GTA.
Don't get me wrong, like, I get that. Like I said, I've always enjoyed driving around in GTA, though. There's just something about it where it does what it does so well. And like, don't get me wrong, I've played through 99% of every Spider-Man game, but this Insomniac games, they have one of the best swinging mechanic systems. And I love the fact that they went from the first game to Miles to this one, and you can feel the progression between each game. Don't get me wrong, is Miles a flawed game? Oh yeah. But they've always done a great job at going up.
Careful what you say about Miles. We all know what happens when I voice my opinion about Miles. All in all, game's a 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. And we don't got much time. Anthony calls out.
Thank you guys. This is Spider-Man 2. Bye-bye.
Ciao, muchachos.